to say, but I'm glad so much of it has been said. Only that I wish somebody talked about the salaries of the most important service providers in the country. The men and women in uniform, soldiers, police officers, prison officers, the teachers at all levels, and the health workers. We said it during our campaign in the previous election. We've said it all the time, that our people deserve better, that our teachers deserve better. Today, the arts teachers are on strike because of the discrimination. Ladies and gentlemen, when we said we will improve salaries of teachers, we did not say some teachers, we said all teachers. It makes zero sense to see that the science teachers' salaries have been increased, but the arts teachers are suffering. These are teachers that all go to school, they educate our children, they bring up citizens, useful, noble citizens that will help our societies equally. So we stand in solidarity with the arts teachers and all teachers at different levels. We cannot demand from the regime because we know they won't do it. We are only promising you that once we kick out this regime, we are going to improve all your salaries, whether you're arts teachers or science teachers. And also, we pay close attention to teachers at lower levels. Primary school teachers, you are being looked up at and you will be looked after at the right time. I'll also make a comment about the salaries of soldiers. General Museveni got scared, the coward that he is, when we started talking facts and truth to the men and women in uniform. We promised to increase all their salaries, not just the senior officers, all of them. And I want to reiterate it now. To all of you, men and women in uniform, soldiers in UPDF, police officers and prison warders, the lowest salary for you is going to be 1 million. Now that should inform your participation in this liberation that we are leading. Of course, the health workers, needless to mention, your plight is being followed and the right thing will be done at the right time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll also make a comment about the plight of Ugandans. I mean, it's because of this humiliation that our people go through. To find a university graduate on a chapati stall or on a border stage or any other low-income initiative is not their desire. It's because the regime has humiliated them and reduced them. Many of you have seen a documentary on BBC where Ugandans, young men and women, are taken abroad, particularly to the UAE, and humiliated and sold as slaves, sex slaves for that matter. This has been going on for the longest time. It is going on and it will continue going on until we stop it. That is why we have to change the situation back home. We have to change home so that home is worth calling home. I will not talk about the iPod, I will not talk about the injustice and the criminality that's going on by the regime, because now that has become normal. However, ladies and gentlemen, because the time has come for us to put an end to that, I'll focus on that. For every 5 years, we have an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, an opportunity to rally Ugandans to change things. Not to just rally Ugandans to go to an election. There were many questions, and many of our friends were challenging us about the election, knowing the kind of election that happens under a dictatorship. But we said this time around we're going to have a protest vote. It has been 5 years, but now it is less than a week before we take the first major step. Ladies and gentlemen, we said it before. I presented myself. I was endorsed by the National Unity Platform and many Ugandans, and here we are. We are going into an election. Nomination day is happening next week on Tuesday. But before you clap, I want us to imagine what kind of election we are going into. I've personally been having sleepless nights, long thoughts and long prayers, praying for myself, my comrades, my family, and my country. Why? Because the kind of election that we are going into, ladies and gentlemen, is no usual election. It is war. We are going into something that we don't desire, but we have to go there because it is our only fighting chance. One writer said that even if the chance is only 1% success, it is worth fighting. So now we are going into a fight where the regime in power has tried to tilt everything against us, but we are going to win because we have God on our side. So the kind of election that we are going to, ladies and gentlemen, if any of you had doubts, if any of you didn't know what we are going into, I'm sure you watched Museveni's Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao. For a long time we've been telling you, ladies and gentlemen, that the regime is not strong on its own. It cannot enslave us unless if it uses us or some of us. For a long time, so many of us had doubts, but finally it has been made very clear to all and sundry that this election, number one, is going to be between two sides, the oppressor and the oppressed. In fact, the oppressors and the oppressed. Now, don't get me wrong, the oppressor is not just Museveni. Because the devil does not come on earth to tempt people. The devil uses people. Museveni does not personally come to hoodwink us. He uses people, he uses some of the so-called us. I'm very glad that Norbert Mao came out and made it clear that Museveni's NRM is in collaboration with 5 other groups. And he mentioned them, and you know them. Now we know who the friend is and who the enemy is. And when somebody shows you who they are, believe them and act accordingly. I'm glad in Uganda they call it a Mandwa Yawanika. But Mao, and thanks to him, he came finally and gave credence to what has been spoken for so many years, that indeed we have some fake opposition amongst us. He made it clear. And he said this group is coming together to deny Ugandans a chance at change. Of course, it's a joke. These are Museveni's enablers. And he has shone a light on them. I said to them, we don't fear you. I said to Museveni, we are going to defeat you again like we did in 2021. But this time around, we are rallying Ugandans to take their win, not to just lay low and be walked over. To Museveni stooges, we see you, we know you, and we shall expose you and make people understand who you really are. And I also want to tell these people that are being used, it's so unfortunate that these people don't learn from history. These are people that we thought are learned, These are people that we thought are informed, but like they tell us, history does not repeat itself. Only fools repeat history. It's very, very unfortunate to see a once knowledgeable person like the Honorable Norbert Mao turning himself into the new Kakoza Mutale now, the new spokesperson of terror, of intimidation. We saw him coming out to say, no, the future of Ugandans is not going to be determined by election. That means the future of Ugandans is not going to be determined by Ugandans. This is a president of the so-called Democratic Party undermining democracy and saying democracy has no role in the future of Uganda. I saw him saying, this is going to be a silent election. You're joking, my brother. We shall speak, we shall shout, we shall scream. Yes, he said he's going to silence us. I want to tell you, Norbert Mao, personally, I will only be silent in my grave. In life, I'll be a pain to all of you. And in death, I'll be a terror to all of you. And so will all Ugandans be. We are going to get our freedom, or we shall die trying to get our freedom. And even if we die, we shall face you through our posterity. Because we did not start this. This started long before us. This will go on long after us. You cannot silence people that have... But we shall overcome everything. We shall speak to the people and we shall campaign. General Museveni is also nominating on the same day. And he has his party has planned a rally in Kololo, which is alright, which is well within the law. We are also going to have our nomination rally in Katwe. We have written to the police, we have written to the police and they've received our application. We are holding our rally in Katwe because there's nothing criminal about that. Fellow Ugandans, I want to remind you that you can actually change this. You have the power. You have the ability. You can change this. And you can change this now. So let us change it, and let us change it now. To our candidates, any other usual election. For those of you that already have the party flag like myself, we are not just candidates. We are commanders in this fight for freedom. I told you before, I say this again, you are not any different from those that you were competing with for the flag. You just got the honor and responsibility to lead us with grace and with fearlessness, because you're commanders, you are not candidates. I want all of you to know, comrades, that where we're going is not going to be easy. Yes, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be pain. That's the bad news. But the good news, there will be victory at the end. They're going to beat us. They've already started arresting and abducting us. They've already started torturing us. You have seen they are trying to do every illegal thing, including denying us our legitimate funds that are constitutional. You've seen they're removing all our posters everywhere. Those are not signs of strength. Those are signs of weaknesses. Samora Machel said that if you see the enemy praising me or being nice to me, then know I've sold you out. We are touching where we're supposed to be touching. We shall touch there more and more and more. So we are going to go through pain, but we are going to win. We are going to win. I know personally, we have information they intend to isolate me, the individual, to arrest all those around me. So comrades, prepare for that. But I say to you, we are going to win. Those who are scared, go back home. Those who are not ready for pain, please go back home. This is war. But one thing I know is that nobody can defeat us when God is on our side. And we shall win. In the end, we shall win. And if we've not won yet, then that is not the end yet. Thank you very much. Ebigambo byange leero bibadde birina kuba bitono, ndowooza era bibadde bitono nnyo. Njagadde okwebaza Honorable Mwanga Kivumbi Deputy waffe owa Buganda olw'okwogera ku nsonga zino. Muwuliriza bulungi ng'ayogera ku nsonga za mukulu waffe gwe twalinga twenyumirizaamu Norbert Mao okuba tikati ayogera ebyo ebitali mu nsa. Era ne mbagamba bannange mule obiyimirirako mu biseera eby'omu maaso nga tukoze ebituufu oba nga tukoze ebikyamu. Norbert Mao alina statement gye yakola enkulu ennyo. Yagamba nti bwe bakusasula okufuuka omubuyabuya then okutegeerako ne bwoba otegeera nnyo okuba tekukyalina mulamwa. Yali musajja ategeera ennyo, yali musajja gwe twagoberera ennyo, gwe twegomanga ennyo ng'akyali guild president wa Makerere University. Yoyo Norbert Mao yennyini gwe mulabayo bwa musaala naye nga muli eyo mulobye tetunnaba bategeera. Ng'ovuddeko abasirikale abasomesa gwe twogerera kati bali mu kwekalakaasa, abasomesa amasomo ga art, kubanga abasomesa amasomo ga sciences bo emisaala gyabwe gyalinyisibwa, aba arts ne batalinyisibwa. Ne bano abasomesa bayita mu mbeera y'emu, basomesa abayizi be bamu, balina omugaso gwe gumu mu ggwanga. Kya buswavu nti n'abo abafuga eggwanga lino nga mwe muli ne Museveni banyuma arts ate nga basoma arts, abala abasomesa ba arts. Anyway, twagadde obubaka buno bugende eri abasomesa bonna nti temuggwamu maanyi. Giri myezi bwezi okubonaabona kwammwe ku ggwe. Museveni tugenda muwangula, tugenda mujjako, tugenda kwongeza emisaala gyammwe. Buno obubaka naye nammwe aba primary nammwe muli basomesa era mulowoozebwako era muli mu plan. Naye ate buleme kukoma ku basomesa n'abasirikale bokka, nammwe abasawo ndaba tulina ne wana abasawo bakulembeze baffe bangi, emisaala gyammwe gigenda kwongezebwa era mukube nnyo ekikopo kuba mmwe mulidde empanga. Sijja kuva waggulu bassebo ne bannyabo yitiriza okumala wiiki nga nnamba n'okusukka nga ndowooza ebirowoozo biwanvu nnyo, nga nsaba essaala mpanvu nnyo, nga nfumiitiriza, nga ndowooza ku kulonda ki kwe tugendamu. Ffenna tumanyi okulonda okubeerawo nga Nakyemalira yali mu buyinza. Mu kulonda okuwedde baatemula bannaffe bangi nnyo, ba Franka Senteza n'abalala babatemulira mu maaso. Bannaffe bangi nnyo babuzibwawo tetuddangamu balabako, bangi batiisibwatiisibwa, bangi basobezebwako, abalala bakyali mu makomera. Bino byonna byonna byakolebwa tusobole okupowa, naye twagaana okupowa era tetugenda kupowa. Gye buvuddeko navaayo neneesobolayo, njagala obbeebaza mwenna abanzikiririza mu bisuubizo bye nali mpadde National Unity Platform, era njagala okwebaza ekibiina kyaffe ekya National Unity Platform olw'obwesige. Bassebo ne bannyabo, yinze kennyini gwe mulaba agenda otwala Museveni akaasa. Era nga njagala okubategeeza nti kati wakyawera na wiiki naku ntono nnyo okugenda okunominatinga nga presidential candidate. Naye nga tetunagenda eyo, njagala twala obudde okumanya era okwetegekera kulonda ki ddala kwe tugendamu. Kuno si kwe kulonda okwa bulijjo, omuntu yenna yena abadde n'okubuusabuusa ku kulonda ki kwe tugendamu. Okwogera kwa Minisita Museveni gwe bayita Norbert Mao mwakulabye, era okwogera okukumala okumanya buli kimu kye batulowoozaako na kye bapulaninga. Eky'omukisa omulungi titumaze ebbanga nga tubagamba nti abatunyigiriza si bamaanyi nnyo, naye ekisinga obba wamaanyi n'enkizo kuba nti batuliira monda. kuba nti balina bannaffe oba betulowooza oba betwali tulowooza nti bannaffe abajja nga bambadde nga ffe nga boogera nga ffe ne batwerindikamu naye nga bakolera mulabe. naye Katonda waberedde nti teyeebaka. Emmandu Abwanika yagenze neyambala Robert Mao nemwogeza amazima amakusike natutegeezera nategeeza eggwanga nti mu gurupu yaabwe balimu ebibiina 5 n'ekitundu era yategeezezza nti ye ne Mwami Museveni ne banne beyamenye bemumanyi obulungi oba bemujja ogenda mu maaso nga mumanya bebali ku ludda olwagala okukuumira Uganda mu mbeera gyerimu. Kyayongedde kittaanya nti Uganda erimu ebibwayi 2, ekyabanyigiriza n'ekyabanyigirizibwa. Kyamukisa kyokubiri bannayuganda baggulawo dda amaaso temukyasobola babuzaabuza. Ekyokusatu tugenda bawangula. Ate nga kyekisingira ddala obukulu tetuli baddu bammwe, tetugenda kubeera baddu bammwe, tetulibeera baddu bammwe. Yes, narale katwe katwe tugenda nateete. Bannayuganda mwenna musobola kino kikola. Buno buyinza bwammwe, buno mukisa gwammwe, buli kyemugenda okukola okutandika ne ku Lwokubiri kigenda kubeera mu mateeka. Saagala mutiisibwe. Eno embeera temulinda Kyagulanyi yekka gye bateekerawo, nammwe musobola okutandikira yonna gye mutandikidde. Bwe yeetegese okubeera sireevu tetuli mikwano gyo. Bwe yeetegese okubeera sireevu tetuli naawe, genda ewaka. Oyo ate ekkomera bino biveemu, bino bya ddala, ffe tugenda mu bya ddala. Nze ng'omuntu nkimanyi era twafunye information tibeetegese okukwata buli muntu yenna neetoolodde ne bwe nnaaba nnyina kulinnya booda njaggirinnya mazima ga Nalonto. Temugenda tiisa temugenda kutusayira ensinga. Mwenna bannayuganda mbabuuliranga pulezidenti gwe mwalondera gwe mugenda okuddamu okulonda. Obuyinza mwabumpa nange mbubawadde, buli omu alina obuyinza. Bano abantu babakinako obuyinza tebabatiisatiisa, temutiisibwatiisibwa. Ne bano bapolitician be baguze tebalina gwe boogerera, mweyogerera. Tebalina gwe bakiikirira, mwekiikirira.